You are not here to beg or chase attention. You are here because you know there is a better way. She pulled away, which is a good sign. That's when you should pause, return, and take back your power. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to get a woman to like you again, not by begging or putting pressure on her, but by becoming the calm, collected man she can't ignore. The Stoics taught us that the world, including her, starts to notice when you take control of your energy, actions, and thoughts. Let's get started. Instead of waiting for her to notice you, shift your attention to yourself right now. This is where most guys go wrong. They check their phone constantly, hoping for a message that might never come, and give her all the power while their own lives stay the same. But a man who waits loses the chance to act. Don't wait. Start working on improving your health, your mind, and your money right away. A man who is actively making his life better is always more beautiful than a man who is just waiting for a woman to notice him. Think about it. Who is more desirable? The guy who feels bad about what he lost, or the guy who is too busy getting better to care if she sees a woman naturally wants to be strong, and not just physically. She also wants to be strong mentally, emotionally, and financially. It's the willpower to work out even when you don't want to. It's the focus to pursue your ambitions rather than wasting energy on someone who's uncertain about you. It's the self-respect to know that you don't chase love. You attract it by becoming a man worth desiring. A Stoic understands that true strength comes from within, not from external validation. He doesn't need a woman's attention to feel valuable. He doesn't seek reassurance to confirm his worth. He builds himself regardless of who is watching. And ironically, that's when people start paying attention, because nothing is more magnetic than a man who moves forward, unshaken, unbothered, and relentlessly focused on his purpose. So stop waiting for her to notice. Let her wonder where you've gone, what you're doing, why you've become distant while she's figuring that out. You're becoming a stronger, more capable version of yourself. And when she does come back, she won't be returning to the same man she walked away from. She'll be facing someone far more powerful, someone who no longer needs her validation to feel whole number two. Stay cool, not. Don't get too close. Stay cool. One of the things that women really dislike about men is when they can't control their emotions. You'll be seen as weak if you act needy or desperate. And once she has that idea, it's hard to change. Women aren't interested in men who beg for attention. They're interested in men who command respect through their presence, not their requests. Ignorance is the best move you can make. Not a fake planned lack of interest, but a real sense of self-worth that isn't affected by what she does when you text her a lot or demand answers. What message are you sending her? You're telling her that she has all the power and that her decision to pull away has completely upset you. That's not attractive. But if you stay calm and show that your peace doesn't depend on her love, something changes. She starts to wonder, why isn't he chasing? Did I misjudge his value? When things don't go his way, a Stoic man doesn't break down. He accepts reality as it is and focuses on what he can control: his actions, his thoughts, and his passions. This is what draws her back. When a woman feels that you're not bothered by her pulling away, it creates interest. She starts to feel your absence and questions her choice. The dynamic changes, and she's the one reevaluating why, because scarcity increases value. A man who isn't easily swayed and doesn't flinch at emotional tests signals high status and strength. But here's the key. You can't just act like you don't care while secretly hoping she notices. Women can tell right away when someone is lying. Realizing that no one person makes you happy or gives you value is the first step toward true indifference. That way of thinking isn't just attractive, it's also powerful. So when she pulls away, don't chase her or freak out. Let her feel the weight of your absence. A woman will only truly value a man who values himself first if this idea of emotional control and real indifference strikes a chord with you, or if it makes you question what you believe now. Come talk to us for a moment. Press the like button. If you thought this discussion was helpful, please leave a comment with your thoughts or just type "typing myself" to show that you are committed to personal growth and mental stability. Let's keep looking at how these ideas can change not only your relationships but also the way you live your life. It's better to use room than to chase. The more you chase, the less you catch. It's better to look for space than to chase worth. She sees something good in you. A man who knows this doesn't get upset. Instead, he takes a step back like a stoic, knowing that his worth isn't based on her short-term feelings. Taking away. Think about it. When you keep reaching out to her, you're telling her that your safety depends on her attention, and nothing turns a woman off faster than a man who seems desperate for approval. A woman is drawn to a man who is sure of himself and doesn't try to pull her back as soon as she steps away. Instead of reacting impulsively, use her distance as a chance to think, were you too available? Did you neglect your own growth, purpose, or interests? There's always a change in the dynamics when a woman pulls away. Maybe she felt like things were moving too quickly, or she started testing your strength without realizing it. If you respond by smothering her with reassurance, you're confirming her doubts instead of easing them. A true Stoic knows that control is an illusion. You can't control how she feels, but you can control how you respond. So instead of chasing her, focus on improving yourself. Focus on your work and bring back any interests you may have put on hold while in the relationship. When she sees that you're not upset that she's pulling away, she starts to wonder why he's not chasing her and whether I misjudged him. This interest is what draws her back. Imagine a man standing by a fire. If he jumps into the flames to keep it living, he puts out the fire. But if he steps back and lets it breathe, it grows. When you give a woman space, she can feel your absence and understand the difference between your presence and the emptiness you leave behind. Real confidence isn't about pretending. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you don't need to chase it. Trust that if the connection was real, it will naturally readjust. And if it doesn't, you've lost nothing because a man who is rooted in himself doesn't beg for love. He attracts it when she reaches out again. Do not overcompensate, do not rush to prove yourself, and do not expect explanations. Meet her with the same calm energy you had when she was gone. Be friendly without seeming needy, interested without seeming desperate. She needs to see that you're still the man she was attracted to in the first place. Be steady, confident, and in charge of yourself. Remember that reattracting a woman isn't about playing mind games. It's about showing her the strength, independence, and purpose that naturally draws her in. Take a deep breath and let your silence do the talking. When a woman pulls away, most men freak out and try to talk their way back into her life. They send long texts asking for peace or trying to remember all the good times, but here's the hard truth. Silence is more powerful than any message you could send. At that time, words don't change how she feels. If anything, they make her more sure of her choice. The less you talk, the more she wonders what will happen if you disappear without a trace. She starts to ask herself, why did he stop trying? Was I wrong about him? And that curiosity works in your favor. As soon as she feels your absence, she doesn't hear your pleas anymore, she only hears silence. In that silence, she starts to wonder, did I wrongly judge him? Why isn't he chasing like every other guy would? As the Stoics say, listen more, speak less. A man who knows his worth doesn't waste time trying to convince someone to stay. He listens to her actions as well, and if those actions show distance, he respects that distance. He doesn't beg or argue, he lets his silence speak for him. People don't understand how valuable something is until it's gone. For example, when a radio song ends, they notice the silence. When a favorite TV show ends, people suddenly value what they had. In the same way, if you keep talking, explaining, and chasing her, you're giving her certainty. But if you take a step back, she has to deal with the doubt, which is what makes her feel things. As a Stoic man knows that feelings are temporary and that the distance between them today doesn't determine their future, he doesn't react. Instead, he stays calm, focuses on himself, and goes about his life, trusting that if she really wants to be with him, she will come back on her own, and if she doesn't, she was never meant to stay. So the next time you want to send that long message, don't. Instead, let the silence do the talking. If there's still a spark, she'll feel it in the space you leave behind. It's not just about not saying anything. It's about having a cool, stoic confidence that says a lot without saying a word. How often do we rush to fill the space with noise because we're afraid of what might be said if it's not there? As we've seen, silence can often get people to think and be curious much more effectively than any well-written message. Think about this idea. Have you ever been in a situation where silence was more powerful than words? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If this way of looking at silence as a way to communicate strikes a chord with you, think about how it could be used in all parts of your life. Like this video if it speaks to you and subscribe for more tips on how to use the power of stoic silence in your everyday interactions. 5. How does that make her feel? Make her feel like you're not there. Here's a harsh truth that many men avoid confronting if she pulled away. It means something about the dynamic between you wasn't working for her anymore. Maybe she felt emotionally overwhelmed. Maybe she began to question her level of attraction. Or maybe without even realizing it, you became too predictable, too available, too accommodating, too easy to figure out. And when that happens, the mystery fades. The excitement weakens and her interest can begin to slip away. Now, this part is hard to accept, but it's essential. The more you try to convince her to stay, the more you try to explain yourself or fix it through words, the more you suffocate what little desire might still be there because attraction doesn't respond to negotiation. You can't talk your way back into her heart if the feelings have already started fading. In fact, trying to do so often pushes her even further away. Here's the good news. One that Stoic philosophy quietly teaches us when you remove yourself from the situation. When you practice emotional restraint and stop reaching out, you create space. And in that space, she's left with something she hasn't felt in a while. Absence, and absence more often than not, leads to reflection when you're no longer always available, when you stop showing up on her phone screen, or in her life every time she expects it. Something subtle shifts. She no longer has the luxury of knowing you're just one message away. She starts to recall the good things, the way you made her laugh, the presence you carried, the quiet confidence you had when you weren't trying so hard. Because here's a basic truth of human nature. We value what we feel. We might lose, we crave what isn't guaranteed. Think about it truly, rare things in life don't need to shout their worth. A diamond doesn't chase a masterpiece, doesn't beg for attention. Their value is silent but undeniable. You need to carry yourself the same way. Let your actions better. Yet your lack of action speak for you. The more you chase, the more you send the message that she's the prize and you're just hoping to be chosen. But when you step back, when you embrace silence not as a tactic, but as a way to honor your own worth, you turn the tables. You go from being someone she assumes will always be there to someone she suddenly might lose. And that's when the real shift happens. So if she pulled away, let her go. Don't try to chase or convince her. Don't write long messages explaining yourself. Don't beg her to reconsider. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of man who's not easily forgotten. Because when you hold your ground, when you protect your peace, when you embody calm strength, you don't just become more attractive, you become magnetic. And the best part, even if she never comes back, you'll still have won because you chose self-respect over desperation. You chose dignity over validation. You chose to be a man. She'll remember not one who begged to be remembered. Number 6, neediness kills. People lose interest in a man who needs her praise more than she wants to be with him. Women admire guys who can stand on their own and don't need approval to feel whole. Being self-sufficient makes you more desirable. A man with a full life, a strong purpose, and unwavering confidence is naturally attractive because he doesn't need her. Women don't fall for men who are desperate to be kept. They fall for men who are confident enough to walk away. If she feels like your life revolves around her, she will lose interest. It's not because she wants to see you suffer. She's drawn to a man who leads, not one who clings. If every choice you make is based on winning her back, she feels that energy. And that energy isn't attractive. It says, I need you to be happy. When she sees that you're happy without her, She starts to wonder if she made the right decision, or if she was too quick to pull away. Your absence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty fuels attraction. So, if she's pulled away, don't try to convince her to stay. A man who truly values himself never has to beg for anyone else's approval. As we dive into the idea of self-sufficiency and its magnetic pull, it's important to ask yourself if you're living a life that is truly yours or if you're looking for approval from others. This difference is important because real self-worth is naturally beautiful. It's not just about being sure of yourself. It's about being rooted in your own identity, regardless of what other people think. Think about how this view changes the way love and respect work in relationships. If you find this idea interesting or if it helps you understand something new, please share your thoughts. Seventh, let's talk about and get better at understanding the strength that comes from being truly independent. Make your comeback quiet. If you do decide to come back, be careful not to overdo it. Don't send her a long, emotional message or show up with a dramatic last-ditch effort to win her back. That kind of energy turns her off. One of the biggest mistakes men make is believing that the more effort they put into a return, the more meaningful it will seem. But attraction doesn't work that way. It's not measured in grand gestures or emotional fireworks. Instead, make your return feel natural, effortless, and almost accidental, like a man who has simply been too busy living fully to dwell on what didn't work. Maybe it's just a short, light message like, "Hope you're doing well," sent after some real time has passed. No expectations, no wait. Or maybe you don't reach out at all and you allow her the space to do it. Because if there's still interest on her side, it will surface. Silence reveals more than words ever can. And most importantly, when it does happen, it won't be because you chased it. It'll be because you let it come to you. The key is this: never look like you've been waiting. Women are incredibly perceptive when it comes to energy. If she picks up on the fact that you've been quietly holding out hope for her return, it puts the power back in her hands, and that kills the spark on the other hand. If your vibe is calm, composed, and indifferent to the outcome, it makes you curious. She thinks, has he moved on? Why does he seem so at peace? Was I really that easy to let go of? She is drawn to that kind of mystery. A Stoic doesn't force anything. He doesn't chase what slips away. He doesn't beg for closure. He doesn't change the timing, or he practices lines to win someone back. He knows that true connection can't be forced. It either grows stronger naturally or fades away. Either way is fine. He stays calm and centered because his happiness and peace have never depended on anyone else. So when the chance comes up, don't make it a moment or act like you've been getting ready for it. Keep it light and casual. Don't bother with the emotional reasons. There's no need to bring up old hurts or look for approval. Just be the kind of man who never stopped living his life, stayed grounded, and didn't wait for her return. That's the kind of man she'll be drawn back to, not because he tried, but because he didn't have to. Number 8, attraction is subtle. Attraction is subtle, not forced. You can't force a woman to like you, it's something you inspire. No amount of begging, persuading, or chasing will ever change how she feels. If you have to beg her attention, you've already lost. Real attraction isn't built with words, it's built with presence, confidence, and independence. Instead of trying to persuade her, let your actions speak for themselves. If you want to be noticed by a woman, don't try to force your way into her life. Instead, be confident in your own. Women are drawn to men who are sure of themselves. Social proof in being there. A man who is focused, disciplined, and loving his life without needing approval from others is naturally magnetic. Why are some men naturally attractive? It's not always about looks or money, it's about energy. A man who walks into a room and commands attention just by being there stands out. And when other people, especially other women, start to value you, she'll feel it. Attraction is contagious, and as soon as she realizes that other people are valuing and admiring her, she starts to question what she did wrong as she wonders why other people are drawn to him. That's why social proof works so well. If you're having fun, meeting new people, and doing things that make you happy, she will notice. Whether directly or indirectly, the less you need her approval, the more she starts to wonder why she ever broke up with you in the first place. So instead of waiting for her to come back, start leveling up. Invest in yourself physically, mentally, socially. financially, and make your life so fulfilling that whether she returns or not, it doesn't matter. The ultimate power move isn't making her miss you, it's becoming the man who doesn't need her to. If this idea of self-inspired attraction strikes a chord with you, please share your thoughts by commenting below on how embracing your own growth has affected your attractiveness, or just type, "I want to attract you" to confirm your dedication to this self-improvement journey. Think about this idea, share your stories, and let's keep looking into how becoming the best version of yourself naturally attracts people to you. Don't forget to like and follow for more tips on improving yourself and making real connections. Number 9. Keep an eye on her. Keep your name in her mind, but don't bother her too much. You don't have to disappear. Full stop. To go quiet doesn't mean to disappear. It means to stop thinking about her and start thinking about yourself. She might read about your fun trip, new hobby, or time spent with friends on your posts. These aren't desperate attempts to get her attention. They're just gentle reminders that your life will go on with or without her. That's powerful, but don't lie about it. Women are very good at telling when someone is lying. She'll tell if you're fake smiling in pictures or trying too hard to look like you're doing great. The goal isn't to look like a man who's doing well. It's to become one by investing in yourself, trying new things, and embracing the things that make you happy. A Stoic doesn't waste time worrying about things he can't change. Instead, he lives in the present and is fully engaged in his own journey. He doesn't post to prove something. He posts because he's genuinely enjoying his life. And that makes all the difference because when she sees you living without hesitation or regret, it makes her wonder if she made a mistake when she judged you and was too quick to pull away. That realization changes her perspective and makes her wonder if she misjudged you, and if she was too quick to close the door. But by the time she starts to notice, you may not even care. Because when you truly embody this mindset and focus on what matters, you realize that the best outcome isn't winning her back. It's becoming a man who is so fulfilled that it doesn't matter. Number 10. Allow her to chase. When she feels like she has something to lose, when she starts to wonder if she made a mistake, when she starts to worry that you're slipping away into a life she's no longer a part of, that's when attraction comes back to life. Women don't miss men who chase them. They miss men who seem just out of reach. Men who are too focused on their own journey to wait around for someone to decide if they're worth it. The tables turn when she starts investing in you again. When she realizes she's no longer the center of your world. When she feels that you are now the one she has to earn back. That's when she starts paying attention, but here's the key. You don't force this shift. You don't manipulate her into missing you. You create a life so full, so exciting that she can't help but take notice. So show her not through words, not through attempts to prove anything, but through your actions that your life is thriving. Become a man with purpose, a man who's leveling up in every way, physically, mentally, socially, financially, when she sees that you're not dwelling, not waiting, not seeking her validation. She starts questioning herself. Did I walk away from something special? Is he better off without me? Has he moved on? A Stoic doesn't beg for attention. He naturally commands it by the way he carries himself. He understands that attraction isn't something you convince someone of. It's something that happens organically when you embody the qualities that women admire: strength, confidence, purpose. And by the time she realizes your value again, you may find that you're the one who has moved on. That's the real power when you're no longer re-attracting her for her, but because you've become the man you were meant to be. Consider the implications of focusing on your personal development and how it shifts the dynamic in relationships. How does this approach change the way you view your interactions with others? If you like the idea of subtle re-attraction through self-improvement, leave a comment with your thoughts or just type, "I am the prize." Let's keep going on this path of becoming not only chaste, but also naturally useful and self-sufficient. Number 11. Win either way to show your dedication to living a life that is appealing on its own terms. You win no matter what, whether she comes back or not, because this whole process isn't just about her. It's about making you a stronger, more independent guy. One who is strong with or without her in his life. And here's the thing. That kind of man is beautiful no matter what. A woman doesn't fall for a man who begs her to stay. She falls for a man whose world doesn't fall apart when she pulls away. If she sees that you've stayed steady and didn't spiral into desperation or self-pity, she starts to question her decision. Did I make a mistake? Was I too quick to walk away? Suddenly the dynamic shifts, and she is the one wondering where she stands with you. Imagine two men who have just had a woman pull away. The first man freaks out and texts her constantly, trying to reason with her and remind her of how good things were. He waits by her phone and checks her social media. Think about getting her back all the time. The second man feels the pain, but instead of reacting emotionally, he focuses on himself. He goes to the gym, deepens his purpose, and starts investing in his hobbies and social life, not to make her jealous, but because he knows how valuable he is. Which man do you think she's more likely to be drawn back to? The one who's trying hard to get her attention, or the one who seems to be owing well without trying? A stoic person doesn't fight life. Instead, they adapt to it. They know that relationships, like everything else, can change. People come and go, and so does desire. Rather than letting setbacks define him, he can control how he acts and reacts to them. By doing this, he becomes someone a woman would never want to lose in the first place. Not because he tricked her into missing him or played a game of silence to play with her emotions, but because he became the kind of man who naturally commands respect and desire. A man who is fulfilled no matter who stays or who leaves. So whether she comes back or not, the real victory is in the man you become through this. And when you reach that level of confidence and self-possession, you'll realize something even bigger. You were never the one who needed to be attracted again. Thanks for coming along with me on this trip into the art of conclusion. Re-attraction, this path isn't about chasing, begging, or desperately trying to win someone back. It's not about tricks, tactics, or putting on a mask to impress. True re-attraction starts from within. It's about rediscovering yourself, standing firmly in your values, and growing into a version of yourself that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone, because your presence alone speaks volumes. If she's pulled away, it might sting, but instead of reacting with panic or emotional outbursts, take a breath. This is your moment. Not to chase, but to realign focus on your purpose, your peace, and your progress. Because the truth is, the most powerful form of attraction isn't loud, it's quiet confidence. It's the kind of presence that doesn't force its way into someone's life, but calmly reminds them what they're missing. This is the Stoic way. You don't try to control outcomes, you simply control yourself. You remain steady, composed, and deeply rooted in who you are. If this message resonated with you, and you're ready to keep refining your mindset and your relationships with a blend of timeless Stoic philosophy and modern understanding, go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts or stories about re-attraction and growth. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos that continue to look at how strength, clarity, and purpose can change the way we love and live. Also, don't miss the recommended videos on the screen. Each one gives you more information on how to handle the ups and downs of relationships with wisdom, intention, and inner calm. Your likes, comments, and shares help this message reach more people who are looking for clarity and confidence in their own journey. And remember, the goal isn't just to get someone back. It's to become the kind of person who walks with such grounded confidence that the right people naturally gravitate toward them. That's what re-attraction is all about. Keep walking your path with purpose and let your peace do the talking. If you want to see more, just click on the next movie.